Cowboys Nation, listen up because everything I'm about to say is unfolding faster than anyone expected, and the reaction across the fan base is nothing short of explosive as the Dallas Cowboys have just announced an unexpected departure that has completely blindsided fans, analysts, and insiders alike, leaving everyone scrambling to understand what this means for the team moving forward, and the wave of confusion and shock that hit social media immediately after the announcement practically broke. The internet as supporters flooded timelines with questions, theories, and raw emotion, because when something like this happens in Dallas, it's never quiet, it's never simple, and it's never without consequences. The moment the team released the news, Cowboys Nation erupted with disbelief, because no one, and I mean absolutely no one, saw this coming. Not even the people who usually have their ears pressed to the ground for whispers coming out of the Star in Frisco. The departure was announced with minimal explanation, minimal context, and maximal impact, giving off the kind of energy that says something changed suddenly, something shifted behind the scenes, or something forced the organization to pivot in a direction that wasn't part of the original plan, and that's the type of moment that shakes a franchise from the inside out. Fans have been desperate for stability, desperate for progress, desperate for any sign that the Cowboys are building towards something real this season, and when that sense of stability gets rattled, even for a moment, the reaction is immediate and intense, and honestly, completely understandable. Cowboys fans invest more emotion into this team than almost any fan base in the league, and when news like this drops without warning, the first instinct is panic, the second is speculation, and the third is trying to piece together the bigger picture before the organization even has a chance to clarify the details. But here's the thing, departures like this do not happen in a vacuum, and they do not happen without causing a ripple effect that touches every corner of the organization, from the front office to the coaching staff to the players themselves, and even when those players don't publicly react, you better believe there are conversations happening in the locker room, in group chats, in private team meetings where everyone is asking, what does this change for us? What does this mean for the season? How big is the impact? Because in the NFL, personnel changes, even ones that don't involve star players, can completely reshape the team's chemistry, communication, preparation, and overall confidence. When someone who has been a significant presence inside the building leaves out of nowhere, it introduces uncertainty, and uncertainty is the enemy of consistency. And consistency, for the Cowboys, has been the biggest struggle for years. This departure hits at a time when Dallas is supposed to be focused on building momentum, finalizing strategies, installing updated systems, and preparing for a season where expectations are sky high and pressure is even higher. You don't want turbulence during this phase. You don't want distraction. You don't want reshuffling. You want cohesion. You want alignment. You want clarity. But this announcement, dropped out of the blue, throws a wrench into the machinery at a moment when every rep, every meeting, every film session matters. And when something this unexpected happens, the timing alone becomes part of the storyline. Fans are already asking why this wasn't handled earlier, or later, or differently. Why now? Why at this exact moment in the off-season process when changes become more disruptive and less manageable? The timing is what fuels speculation, whether fair or not, because fans naturally try to connect dots even if those dots aren't meant to be connected, and the lack of immediate answers only amplifies the noise. But the real question is how the team absorbs this shock internally. Every time a key figure leaves, there is a shift in responsibilities and dynamics. Someone has to step into the vacant role, and whoever that is will need to adapt quickly, communicate effectively, and earn trust almost instantly. No small task in a franchise where expectations hover like a storm cloud. You may get an interim solution, you may get a temporary patch, but temporary patches don't solve long-term problems, and right now, the Cowboys don't need temporary solutions, they need stability. They need unity. They need focus. They need to eliminate any possible reason for cracks to form, because cracks become fractures and fractures become collapses, and this team cannot afford another collapse. The departure adds pressure to every coach, every leader, every veteran on the roster to step up and maintain order. And speaking of veterans, imagine being one of the players who worked closely with the departing figure, someone who built trust, created routine, and developed rhythm under their leadership. When that person leaves suddenly, players have to adjust quickly to new methods, new expectations, new voices. It's not just physical, it's psychological. And what's fascinating here is the emotional ripple effect across Cowboys Nation, because fans are divided between shock, sadness, irritation, and curiosity. Cowboys fans react passionately because they care, because they feel connected to this team, because they've endured heartbreak after heartbreak, because they've been waiting for the breakthrough moment that always seems to linger just out of reach. And when something disrupts the path toward that breakthrough, even something small, let alone something major, they can feel the instability like a tremor. Social media is already filled with fans posting theories, trying to decode what happened, wondering whether this departure was mutual, forced, or simply the product of circumstances no one expected. Some are pointing fingers. Some are trying to stay optimistic. Some are panicking. Some are calling for change. Some are calling for calm. That's what makes the Cowboys fan base different. Every emotion is turned up to maximum volume. But whether fans are panicking or powering through, the heart of the situation is the same. The Cowboys must respond quickly and decisively to prevent this departure from snowballing into a bigger issue. They need to communicate. They need to clarify. They need to provide direction. And internally, they need to restructure roles so players don't feel like they're walking into an environment full of unanswered questions. But beyond all of this, beyond the drama, beyond the confusion, beyond the interruption lies an important truth: adversity tests teams. It reveals character. It exposes weaknesses. It highlights strengths. And the Cowboys, more than almost any other team, have been living under the microscope for years with immense pressure to deliver. This unexpected departure becomes another obstacle in a long list of challenges the team must overcome if they want to prove they are truly ready to break out of their cycle of inconsistency and disappointment. For players like Dak Prescott, leadership becomes more important than ever. For stars like Micah Parsons, focus and discipline become mandatory. For the coaching staff, adaptability becomes key. For the front office, decision-making becomes urgent. Every level of the organization will feel the effect of this shift, and the response must be thoughtful, strategic, and swift. The Cowboys cannot afford to let this moment derail them, because the NFL doesn't wait, the schedule doesn't pause, and opponents don't care about internal drama, they care about exploiting weaknesses. And make no mistake, instability is a weakness. That's why the next few days, how the team communicates, who fills the responsibilities, how quickly the transition occurs, will tell us everything we need to know about whether the Cowboys are equipped to handle the unexpected or whether this becomes a distraction that lingers, grows, and festers. But even with uncertainty swirling, Cowboys Nation remains hopeful, because if there's one thing fans of this team have mastered, it's hope. Hope for growth. Hope for resilience. Hope that the team not only survives these sudden changes but becomes stronger because of them. And as dramatic as this moment is, it could ultimately become a turning point, the type of wake-up call that forces the organization to tighten up, refocus, and re-establish alignment in pursuit of the season ahead. Because every NFL season includes twists, surprises, and unexpected challenges, but champions are defined by how they respond to those challenges, not whether they avoid them. Right now, Cowboys Nation is looking to see how the team responds. Will they crumble under the pressure, or will they rally, regroup, and rise? And as fans wait for more clarity, as theories swirl, as emotions run high, one thing is guaranteed: the football world is paying attention, and once again, all eyes are on the Dallas Cowboys. So Cowboys Nation, stay locked in, drop your thoughts in the comments, let me know how you think the team should respond to this unexpected shakeup, and make sure you're subscribed, because the moment anything new breaks, the moment there's even the slightest update, I'll be right here bringing you every detail, every development, and every angle as this story continues to unfold. This is far from over, and the next chapter is just beginning.